Hey, this is Trey with Frankenstein RC Adventures, coming to you with my second part of the first part of the video in the kitchen with the crock pot and the cast iron skillet. Just to show you a little bit right here now. All the ingredients, as you can see, I've got her in there and ready to go. I'm using a recipe from my friend who sent me a thing on how good it was on Facebook. Stephen Matthews, my buddy, really good, really cool guy, and we hope that recipe turns out right. So what I did was I was going to show you how I clean this, because it's got some stuff on the bottom that's baked to it. And what that is, it's hamburger and onion, and that's what we did for the crock pot. So what I'm going to do, I will go ahead and I'm going to put a little water. That is probably, let's see, now a little bit more. Okay, so we got our water right here. We're going to put this on this burner. See if we can get that over there. Okay. And we're going to crank the heat up to about 6. Now this is why I wish I had gas, because gas heat is just instant. It's high, low, or medium, or whatever you want. This has to have time to warm up. This pan is dirty. I always like to keep the cooking area clean and in order, because it's so much easier to work that way. And boy, let me tell you what, this little baby crock pot is awesome. She is hot to the touch, just how it will burn you. And I've got all the ingredients in there for Wendy's chili. Thank you, Steven. My buddy Steve also and his wife Melissa just adopted a child, and they just give it all kinds of love and attention, and they're very good parents and very cool people, very good people. I'm blessed to know them. I don't get to see them as much as I'd like to, because I don't drive. Okay, so I'm going to start taking some of this. Here's how that hits. But we want that to boil. And especially when you got a lot of stuff that's baked onto the bottom of the pan and it don't want to come off, put your water in there, let it boil, and use your spatula. This is a rubber. It's bendable, but it's pretty tough. You can use that, or you could use the Big Daddy. It's also rubber, but it's a little bit more flexible. And if I use it, I like to put my finger here, where I can get that push on that, you know, to get that grease and stuff off of the baked on stuff. But this one, sometimes I even take this off and just, if it's real bad, you know, put a little elbow grease in it. But I'm telling you, most of the time, you don't have to do that. See, you can see how long it takes for this to come to a boil. She's right now getting warm. You know, I could stick my hand in there, it would probably burn me. I could feel some heat coming up, but that's cool, that's fine. I really wish when I do the video I knew how to speed things up and slow them down for the camera to make things go by quicker. I don't. I apologize for that. I'm going to be working on video editing. I've got a few programs on video editing. I don't know how to use them yet, so I'm learning. So if you bear with, you can see it's starting to smoke. The handle's not even hot. That is one thing with cast iron. I can put on this little burner if I want, this big pan, and it will heat evenly. Cast iron will heat evenly. And you do not want to crank your heat up on a cast iron, because you will warp them. The highest I have ever had my cast iron is 7. and 7 is really too hot for that, so I like to turn that back. If I'm going to boil something, I like it on 7, but never, ever, ever cook anything on high. And don't dry your pan on a high heat, because they will warp. And when they warp, they are no good, they're useless. You can throw them away, because they're not heating evenly. They're not heating correctly when they're that way. Now we're starting to get a little bit of boil right here, where things are kind of popping and cracking a little. I'm going to take this spatula, and I'm going to just barely, let's see if the handle's hot. No, the handle is not hot. If the handle was hot, I would use it, you know, with a pad. I see that's not even boiling right there. It's to the point of boil on the low side, but it's already taking all them sticky chunks that was off on the bottom. We're going to continue to boil, and it's not going to scratch the pan because it is a rubber. That's what she said. You can see all these little things that were stuck to the bottom starting to float on this water. And I really think that got it. Because I'm not feeling anything sticking. There's a little something right up there. Grab that. Anything on the sides, that's going to come right off. The onion, that's going to come off. Okay, so our pan, the next step we're going to do is taking it to the sink. Now, I can dump this down the drain. For one, I'll tell you why. I drained the oil before I did this that was in the pan. So let's switch over here. Let's see if I can get a view over here. There's the pan in there. Okay. So put this pan over here. This is all the dirty stuff. I'm going to put this over here. We can dump that. Now, we're going to want that to sit for a few minutes, and we want hot water. Never, ever, 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 ever put cold water on an iron skillet that is hot. You will crack it. You will screw it up. I actually like to take a little water and throw it on it. She's not bubbling. Getting the pan a little bit accumulated to the water that's coming. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm just kind of putting some water on there. The handle's heating up a little. We still got hot, cold water, cool water. I need for them to turn my water heater up because this water is just not getting hot quick enough. Wasting a lot of water, and I do not like to do that. There we go, we're getting warm. There we go. A few more of those splats. There we go. Put that on there like so. Now I'm just going to take my dish rag. No soap. Nothing. Just a clean rag. And I'm going to hold the handle and I'm going to scrub it. And it is hot. But we want to keep that because we want to scrub the top, the brim. We want to keep that warm because the skillet was still a little hot. I don't want to say hot, I want to say warm. And if we would have put cold water on that, we would have burnt the pan. It would have just cracked. And you'd have said, oh shit. Now, looky there. She's clean. It's a little bit warm to the touch. It's a little bit hot still. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take this rag. We're going to dry what we can. I'm not even rubbing hard. I'm just letting it hit the stainless. I'm sorry, not stainless. I do cook with stainless too. The cast iron. Now, next step. Let's go back over here. Let's put it on this burner. Let's turn it on. I like to go about 3. And what that's going to do, that's going to heat up and it's going to take all the water that's in this pan and it's going to evaporate it. Now, I'm not going to do this whole step for you guys. I've got my rag that I always season with. It's got oil just on it already. When this dries, I will reseal this with water. I'm sorry, not with water. I will reseal that with oil, and she'll be done. So, happy cooking, happy RCing, and na 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 na.